So then I said, "Look, Mr. Seawalt, you're just too tall. And I liked you better with hair anyways, so I don't want to be your friend." Oh, hold on, I think I'm being recorded. I gotta call you back. Bye. Uh, hey everybody. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use photo collage, which is the name of this website. If you would rather not hand draw your assignment for Miss Selig's class and my class, then you can always use the internet. We found some software for you to use. However, it's a little complicated, so I'm going to show you a few things that I did in order to make the cover that I made, and hopefully this won't be too long. My first word of advice, if you just want to stop watching the video now, is just play around with all the tools. I had to play around for a couple hours to make the thing that I made, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So that's my first piece of advice, is just play around with all of the software. But I will teach you a few things that I learned. So the first is you're just going to need to find pictures that you'd like to use. So I found two here. I found one of a dystopian background because we need to talk about setting. The book that my class read was called The Giver, and so that takes place in a dystopian society. So in order to get started on this website, you need to drag and drop your images, or you can browse, but I already found one, so I'm just going to put the downloaded image of a dystopia right here, and bam, just like that. I can now work with that. Now, in order to move the image, it's very similar to Google Docs or Google Slides, which you're all familiar with. You click it, and you can make it bigger. Alright, so let's say I want it that big, right? Nice, kind of fills up the screen. I might make it a little longer or a little further down, but I think that is good. We can work with this. But there's a few more things that we need to know. In order to get the full grade on this assignment, you need to have setting, character, and plot all shown, all three elements shown in your cover and mentioned in your back cover when you write your summary. So I need more than just a dystopian setting. So I found another picture. Now in my book, The Giver, there is a memory of a sled, and the sled plays a big part in the plot. One of the main characters rides the sled. So in order to tell the teacher, myself, that I actually read the book, I'm going to want to pull out minor details or sometimes major details and put them here on my collage. So I found one more picture. So we have the background of a dystopia, which I like, and then I'm going to add the picture of a sled. Let's see. By clicking Add Images. So once this one image is already there, in order to add more, you have to go up here, hit Add Images, and then find wherever you put that image. I saved mine to my desktop, so I know it is there. And it is this picture of a boy screaming, probably about to crash and get hurt. So much like Google Slides or Google Docs, you can move this around wherever. Maybe you want it down here, maybe you want it up here, maybe you want it right in the middle. That's your choice. However, there are a few things that you can do in order to make this look a little better, because right now, if I put this picture right in the middle, I can't really see the setting. It takes away from most of the background. So maybe I want to make it smaller, but then I kind of lose part of the picture. Right? I can't really tell, if I make it too small, what the picture actually is. I don't know, if it's that small, that that's a boy sledding. So I want to make it big, but I need to change some things, right? So that is where you are going to, well, I guess first, come down here, just take a look at all these things by hitting the arrow keys. If the image is clicked, then you can move it to the right or to the left, up or down. There's a few other, let's see, if you just hit V, it'll center it vertically on the page. So if I put it way over here, hit V, it'll center it vertically wherever you put it. I won't go over all those. Those are pretty self-explanatory. What I do want to go over is a few things up here. So when you have clicked your picture, right now it's the big background of setting. Right here it's the picture of the boy on the sled. If you go up towards the top, you're going to see this bar, and in particular this gray bar. This is the important one. This is where you can really change how the picture looks. So what I like to do first is get rid of this white border. See how there's a white border all around this picture? I don't think I need that. So I get rid of that always. So in order to do that, I go to, try one more time. I go to this gray bar, I hover my arrow over these so I can tell what it actually is, and when it says shape, border, and size, I click that. Now over here it says border. Right now it's at 11, so that makes it a pretty strong border, but if I make it all the way to 0, and click this image, then it takes away the border completely. So if I click out of this now, then the picture looks a little bit weird because it has no border. So I think we need to take away the border, or how I would like it is take away the border, but then also soften the edges so it's not so pointy or angular. So I'm going to click this one more time, and then I might hit blur edge. Right now the blurred edge is at 0, but if I crank it up, you see what's happening to the picture down here? So right now it's at 8 and it gets a little blurry. When it's at 24, it gets blurrier and blurrier and blurrier, so it just makes it softer. So 50 is the max. And now look at the picture. It's a little softer. It blurred the edges some, so it's almost like this picture has kind of wafted into the setting rather than just automatically been placed there with some really noticeable edges. So now it might be easier to move the boy sledding around in the picture however you like. There's also a few other things. Maybe you don't want it to be this rectangle. Maybe you think that's odd because you don't want that much snow in the picture. Maybe what you're actually trying to highlight is just the boy itself. So you can come up here and change the actual shape. So now you have something that's like an oval. Here you have a diamond. If I just want the boy, maybe I'd try that or this. If you want to emphasize something like there's love in the book, and maybe that is an important part of the plot or character, maybe you want to make it heart-shaped. I'm not sure. One of the memories in my book, The Giver, was a pleasant memory of a sled going down a hill and having fun. So maybe I'll keep it a heart. You can do that. Move it over here. And let's see. I think that's about it. Again, you play with the pictures by clicking on them. So if I'm not very careful with my clicking, then I might accidentally move something and then have to move it back. And the one thing that I don't love about the website is that there is no undo button. So be very careful with your actions, because if you accidentally do something, then you will need to, see, like I keep moving the background when I don't want to. I keep meaning to move the sled boy. Just make sure you don't do anything too drastic, like delete the picture, because there's no way to get it back. You're going to have to do all that work over again. Okay. One of the last things I want to show you is you do need a title. If you are selecting to do the video where you are using the internet, kind of like our Photoshop option here, then you do still need a title. That's the only words you need. So in order to do that, you go up to the top bar one more time, not the gray one, but just above that where it says Add Text. Gives you a text box. You can move that wherever. Maybe you want it right in the middle here. You can make it bigger if you'd like. Maybe move it to the center. And you go ahead and type. So once you click that, once you hit type here, you double click it, this box comes up. This is where you're going to put the name of your book. So I would put The Giver. I can change the size. I can change the shadow. There's a lot you can do here. You can make it italicized. You can see it changing a little bit back there. You can underline it. And you can also change the font here. So there's a lot of font options, and whatever you have, maybe you actually just want to type in the name of the book there. If you hover over all these, you can see what it'll look like. So I'm going to pick a random one way down here. Cairo. Looks like that. Alright. So I go ahead, hit select. I could close this. Maybe I'll adjust this a little bit, make it nice and big so you can really see. And voila. Now against this background, I'd obviously want to make it white or maybe a light gray, but I think that gives you enough of an idea of what to do here. So It's almost 10 minutes, I'm sorry. Feel free to watch anything you want over again, but just think of this as Photoshop. And in Photoshop, you have to play around in order to get the product that you want. So have fun. Email myself or Miss Selig if you have any questions. You have Friday and Monday to do this assignment, so you have quite a while to play around. Again, my example, which looks pretty silly, took me a few hours. I had a lot of fun making it, and I tried a lot of things making it. Made a lot of changes, added some things that I ended up deleting. So the point is to have fun, and the point is to create something that you think incorporates setting, plot, and character. Good luck.